What's up, dads? So, what I'm gonna say is this is for the new dads. I want you guys to realize something. As your kids get older, there's going to be a phase for every milestone age they turn. There's going to be a personality shift. Like, you know how they have like the terrible twos, the three nature, the foreigner, all of these names. And they're true. They're true. Like your child will have moments as they get older that you're going to see their personality just shift to someone that you have no idea who this person is. Like currently, my 8 year old, she's going through a phase where she's just becoming more frustrated. And it's hard to watch because, me as a parent, I try to communicate with her. I look her down. I get on her level, first of all. I try not to just hover over her while I'm talking. I try to get on her level and try to really dive deep into her mental, which is hard because sometimes they may not be ready to speak. There may be other factors that kind of prevent them from really telling you how they truly feel. You know what I mean? And like I said, she's at this moment of her life where she's getting frustrated by a lot of things. And I try to just be there for her in those moments. And I try to tell her, listen, do you need a break? I always try to ask her how she's feeling in that moment. But I also try to explain to her that life is going to get harder. As you get older, there's going to be certain things that's going to challenge you more. So you have to be ready for this. This is me having a conversation with my older daughter. I let her know like things are going to challenge you. Things are going to get harder. Things are not going to get easier the older you get. That's just not reality. But you, as a young girl growing up, getting older, you have to understand ways of, okay, I'm feeling frustrated. What can I do in this moment? I always try to go over a couple of things that she may like to do, like a stress ball, um, taking space. Sometimes you may not be able to always take space because you're in a public area. There's no way for you to take space. You have to deal with that frustration. This is what I try to explain to her. Will she understand it in this moment? Sometimes no. There's going to be moments in life where she's in school and she's by herself, she's getting frustrated. I want her to understand you have to figure out ways because daddy's not going to always be here. I'm not going to always be here to calm you down or give you a hug in the moment. That's what us new dads have to understand. We have to to prepare our kids to understand that life is hard. Life will challenge you. Life will knock you on your butt. That's why I said before, life is not a Disney movie. Like I honestly want to create a shirt that says that life is not a Disney movie. And if you're raising your children like life is a Disney movie, they're gonna meet they're gonna meet the craziest villain in their story. And it's gonna unfold in front of them and you're gonna regret doing that. We gotta show our children the pitfalls and how to react if you do find yourself in a pitfall. Because best believe they're going to find themselves in a pitfall. We can't go through this life thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna hold you back from this pitfall. Don't go this way." Yeah, we could do that, but for how long can we do that? At a certain time, they're gonna have to start thinking for themselves. At a certain time, they're going to have to start making the decisions, and hopefully they'll maintain or go back to the wisdom that you kind of gave them earlier. Hopefully they remember that. Because there's going to be moments that life will test their knowledge, It's going to test their wisdom. It's going to test their street smarts. It's going to test their situational awareness. It's going to test certain parts of them that you hope when they get to a certain age, or even at the age they're at now, you hope they remember what to do. For example, you could say to your child, till you're blue in the face, do not, I repeat, do not touch the stove. The stove is hot. Now you hope your child remembers this, right? But what if they're around their friends and they're playing around and someone is cooking on the front burner of all burners, and your child sees that burner? They're so busy interacting with their friends, they don't realize the stove, the fire is on, and they put their hand up there and get burned. Life has certain consequences for everything that we do, even for our little kids. We have to teach them life is going to have consequences for you as well. I can show you, I can teach you these things, but there's going to be instances where I'm not there. I'm not there to hold your hand. I'm not there to remind you what you should not do, what you should or should not do. So there's going to be moments where I'm not available, your mom is not available. What are you going to do in this moment? And I try to question my daughter. I try to test her out, test out her, situational awareness moments, test out what she would do if someone walked up to her and asked her certain things. Try to just gather how she thinks, because life is unpredictable and life can come at you at any moment. It doesn't matter how old you are. If someone comes up to you and makes you feel uncomfortable, what do? Who should you talk to? Who should you go to if in case you get lost? These are all conversations we as not only dads, we as parents, we have to have these responsible conversations with our children. Don't sugarcoat life for your children. I'm not saying you have to make them paranoid, because that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I am trying to motivate you to do. Is make your children paranoid of the world in which they live. I would never do that. I'm saying make your children aware. Don't make them ignorant of what the world is about. Teach them the good things of the world, of course, but also you got to make them aware of the bad things. There has to be a mixture of everything. This is how you keep what you're saying to your children genuine. I can't just go up to my child and say, oh man, the world has so many good people in it. You're going to love it here. But then I neglect to tell them there's this weirdo around the corner in the alley and he's watching you. I neglect to tell them about that possible person in the corner with the hoodie on and the shades and the big trench coat in the 90-degree weather. What kind of person would I be if I neglect to tell them that portion? Don't you guys think everything is important? We got to be realistic. Nowhere is safe in this world for us to be speaking that way, to make it seem like everything is just rainbows and cotton candy. I will not do that to any child. It could be a stranger's child I'm talking to. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm sorry. My experiences, my observations, the things that I see happen to children on a daily basis because they weren't paying attention, because they didn't know what to do in this moment. All of these things, no. We got to prep our children. We got to prep our children. Seriously. It should be mandatory to prep our children for the world they're going to live in. A world they will live in without us as parents one day. Because the grim truth is we won't be here forever. So what are you going to tell your child? What in your mind can you think of to teach your child the way? How are you going to start raising your child? What's your expectations? How are you going to train them? Because guess what? While they're young, this is the training stage. You're supposed to be training your child during this stage. Don't try to be your child's friend. Do not try to be your child's friend. You could play around with your friend, your child. That's not being their friend. That's just having fun activities with your child. Don't be your friend. Don't be a friend to your child at this moment. This is not the time to be a friend. You can be friendly and show friendly aspects, but it's not time to be a friend to your child. Right now, you're training your child. Train them in the direction they should go so you can prep their mind. So when they get to a certain age where common sense should be common, you'll have less to worry about until something else happens, another phase comes, and then now you have to think about that. Because like I said, these children are going to go through different phases of their personality. Right now, it just seems like the phase my daughter is going through could be puberty. My wife was talking about that. It could be puberty. It could be, frustrations in school. It could be a plethora of things that I'm not sure how to pinpoint. But one thing I know is I will continue to be there for her. I will continue to communicate with her. And in hopes she will communicate with me. In hopes. It's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Because to be honest, some kids feel more comfortable confiding in their mother more than the dads. And it could be based on how you reacted in the past towards them. They could be scared to tell you stuff because you may yell at them, or you may have a more stricter demeanor about yourself. So they feel like, I'm not going to tell daddy. What am I going to tell him for? He's going to frown. He's going to be upset with me. So they would rather go to their mom, who more naturally is going to be more nurturing. So I think dads, when it comes to dads, we want to get the job done. Like we can be nurturing at times, not as much as women, I feel, but I feel we want to get the job done. We want things to be in order. We want things to be done a certain way. We want our children to be respectful. We don't want to play around with our children in terms of letting you just do anything you want to do. And there's no discipline anywhere. And no. Discipline is very important with these children. Like knowing what to do when you come into the home. You know you're supposed to do certain things. Make sure that's being done all the time. You come in the house, you put away your shoes where it belongs. You take out your lunch bag. You take out the water bottle. These kind of things. When you consistently do it every day, you start to become disciplined, and you know the things that you're supposed to do. So now you never break off from that pattern. Discipline. But like I'm saying, we as dads, we need to understand our children are going to change. Like the other day, I'm just looking at my older daughter and I'm like, her personality is really changing. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, she's 8 years old. What if she's going through that stage? The period stage, the stage where I'm going to start getting uncomfortable and I'm going to be like, what? How do I even talk to you? How do I even go about this at this stage? This is unknown territory for me. Like, I feel like how do I even begin this conversation? And this is when I kind of look at my wife and I'm like, you got this, right? Like, because it's like unknown territory for me. It's like I don't know how to talk about this. This is in relation to her body and her body going through changes. And it's like, as a man, how do you talk to your daughter about this? All I can say is, for all those girl dads, is just understand your daughter is going to change. She'll always be that little girl to you, always. But she is going to change. Her personality is going to change. She's going to speak differently at a certain point. She's going to want to be to herself, maybe. Different characteristics of her personality is going to change. And we as dads, we have to evolve with that. We have to just be, I feel like we just have to be more understanding and patient with them. Because there's times where she gets upset and frustrated and I got to walk away. Because I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, I'm your dad. Like, but then again, I'm like, I'm trying to understand it from her point of view. She may have had a long day. Yes, there's no excuse to talk to your parent a certain way. There is no excuse. At the same time, we got to look at our children and kind of understand what they went through too, as well. And I think that's where emotional intelligence comes into place. Because there's a lot of people that are not emotionally intelligent to really understand how people may be feeling in that moment, or feeling in generally speaking, and kind of picking up on cues and kind of seeing, okay, this is how this person is thinking. Let me just put myself in their shoes to see what they may be going through. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, till next time. Peace.